session. Charlie, can we have the roll, please?
Certainly. Commissioner Cardoza?
Here.
Commissioner Flores?
Here.
Vice Chair Martin?
Here.
Chair Jeffrey?
Here.
I believe Commissioner Donaldson will be joining us shortly. Commissioners Germain and Hoff have excused absences this evening, so we have a quorum of 4 commissioners.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, are there any citizens to be heard this evening on items that are not on the Planning Commission agenda? If so, please step forward and identify yourself with your name and address and sign in. Brian?
My name is Brian Donahue. I live at 4333 Holden Street. I've been out of town for the last meeting, but so I was unable to weigh in on this body's decision to allow Novartis to remove all of our street trees on 53rd Street and elsewhere around their campus. But I wanted to talk just briefly about that tonight. First of all, I was sort of instrumental in getting the UFO passed. That's the Urban Forestry Ordinance. It was sort of my idea, so I'm pretty knowledgeable about the ordinance. I wanted to just explain to everybody here the spirit of the ordinance, what the idea of the ordinance is. The idea is to make it difficult to remove and expensive for any tree cutters to remove the trees that are owned by the people. And the reason why you want to do that is to make it have the net effect be that less of our mature street trees are cut so that we become a city that everyone says we want to become, and that's a city of beautiful, mature street trees like, say, Alameda or some other cities around the Bay Area. We've all stated this is what we want. So we now have an ordinance at our disposal that's designed to be able to get us to that place. Now, I'm sure you all kind of know about this notion that if a cutter wants to cut a tree, you have to get permission. Then you have to plant an equal-sized tree. Now, the idea of this thing is that there's nothing radical here. It's if you break something, you fix it. And if you take something, you replace it. It's part of the Judeo-Christian ethic. It's pervasive in our culture, and there's nothing radical about this concept. But unfortunately, here in Emeryville, we haven't done that. We haven't obeyed this basic dictum when it comes to our street trees. Constantly, we're getting our trees cut and getting little lollipops replaced in their stead, and that's not a fair trade in my book. So that's why there's a provision that if somebody wants to cut a tree, they can put a little tree there if necessary, but they have to pay the monetary difference as determined by an arborist to the city who puts into a landscaping fund. Now that's the problem. That's what you guys didn't do at the last meeting, and I see a problem with that. First off, before I tell you about specifically why I say that it was a mistake that you didn't require that, is I talked to the facilities manager at Novartis. The man's name is Joseph Mudd. He's here this evening. And because I knew I wouldn't be able to make it to the meeting because I was out of the country. And I said, Joseph, is your corporation ready, willing, and able to pay money if you're required to pay it for cutting these trees down? He said, yes, we're ready. I said, it might be thousands and thousands of dollars. Are you ready for that? He said, yes, we're ready. Then I called up every planning commissioner and talked to them either in person or left messages on their phone, everyone with the exception of Paul Germain. And I told each one of you, this corporation is ready, willing, and able to pay the money to the landscaping fund as required by the ordinance. All you have to do is ask them to do it, and they'll do it. But unfortunately, you guys didn't ask them to do it because you were given erroneous information. You were told that the reason why the trees needed to be cut was our fault, our being the people of Emeryville. Apparently, the trees are causing damage to the sidewalk, or so Novartis says, and that Hank Van Dyke, the public works director, determined that fault was our fault. Now, trees are an asset. They're owned by the people. It's an asset. So those trees need to be removed. That's somebody's fault. It's either Novartis's or ours, the fact that they're damaging the sidewalk. So Hank says that it's our fault. I say it's Novartis' fault. They're the ones that planted that species of trees that they now say is problematic. So the fault is not the people of Emeryville. The fault is Novartis. They should pay the landscaping, pay the money to for equal replacement. You guys dropped the ball. I want this body to take our street tree, the people's street tree. I want this body to take that matter seriously in the future, because that's everybody's stated goal. We want to be a city of beautiful, mature street trees, and we're not going to get there unless we have more diligence on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Any